Hello, my name is Francis Fox. I'm a government trained remote viewer. I have all of my psychic skills trained and researched and checked on and statistically analyzed practically since birth. Not my choice, but it was part of my process of aligning with my mission in this incarnation. I'm so sorry if you don't believe in past lives. You'll catch up. And I'm not just being sarcastic. You really, if you have that many question marks left in terms of important things in life because of your belief system, then you really need to examine your belief system. I think you need to examine your belief system if you don't believe in past lives, but we're not going to go there. I wanted to discuss the law of attraction and the Gulf of Mexico. I read, of course, on X, I get my news, that Trump wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico. Um, okay, that's fine. But what do we need to know about the Gulf of Mexico? Let me tell you what it is that I know from years ago, and then I'll go into what the Dolphins told me today about the Gulf of Mexico. It's not a judgment issue, it's information. With information, you make choices. There's no choices being made that are not good. The naming of the Gulf is not real important. It's the frequency and vibration of the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, that's real important. But let me go back to what I know about the Gulf of Mexico. Years ago, there was an accident in the Gulf of Mexico, the BP oil accident. I believe it was 2005. And BP oil drilled 5,000 feet below the Earth's surface in the Gulf of Mexico. And something happened. They couldn't stop the oil from coming up out of the hole. I don't know how many months it took for that to happen, but the entire time they had cameras focused on that accident site. And those of us that were psychic, many of us were able to see um, what was coming out of the hole, which were beings that were elongated, white, semi transparent, and elongated. But even before I saw that, when I heard about the Gulf accident, I was hysterical. I wanted to go to the Gulf of Mexico. I wanted to go there. I needed to go there. I needed to see that. I don't usually do that. As a remote viewer, I don't really need to go places. I could be sitting lotus style on my bed and be reading something on the other side of the planet or off planet. But I needed to go and I was not able to go. What was so important about the Gulf of Mexico accident, the BP oil accident, was that because of that accident, the vibration of planet Earth changed. What was it that changed? The accident opened a hole in a protective wall. We have a lot of walls in between dimensions, in between civilizations, in between things. And the accident, the drilling had opened a hole in what is called the Brahmavara of planet Earth. The Brahmavara is the door to the underworld. Now, where did I come up with that name? Sometimes I don't do it anymore, but I used to kind of flip through dictionaries. And I was flipping through a metaphysical Hindu dictionary. It was actually Hindu philosophy or something. And I found the Brahmavara and I thought, oh, that's so interesting. And then we had the accident. And what happened was that they drilled so deep that they broke through this door. It's not a wall, it's a door. It's supposed to open and close. And they weren't able to close it again, as we know from news. What's the issue? Well, a door to the underworld that's supposed to be closed basically was opened and it was not closed again. That was, I believe, 2005. The quality of energy in the Gulf of Mexico changed totally. And the energy of mental illness augmented dramatically, particularly in Louisiana, New Orleans, that whole area because of the energy that was coming in from the underworld. Now, the underworld has been known about forever. It's in the Bible. They call it hell, and they say it's underneath. Totally correct. The direction, the locate, not the location, but the direction is correct. It's underneath. And in terms of your system as a human being, it's 2 inches below the base of your spine, which is the root of your body. Okay, so what happened? In 2012, the 21st of December, 2012, where the Mayans said that after that date, there had to be a new calendar. And nobody knew why there had to be a new calendar. Everybody assumed that the world was going to end, or they assumed that that's what the Mayans were saying. The Mayans were saying that the world as we knew it would end December 21st, 2012. It was actually 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Not the world as we knew it. The vibration of the world changed. What happened? And if somebody looks this up and you find that I am incorrect with some of the information that you're able to verify, please let me know. Not an issue for me to be corrected, not an issue at all. It's very important for me that I be accurate and give information that people can count on, much more than to protect my self esteem. Okay, got that? So, December 21st, 2012, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a supermassive black hole, Sagittarius A, totally aligned with planet Earth for, I believe it was 8 minutes, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it aligned with planet Earth without a separation between what we know as life and the underworld. And there was a shot of energy from that supermassive black hole that forever changed the planet, the vibration of the planet. And that is why the Mayan calendar ended then. The shift in vibration was so incredible that the old calendar was no longer valid. Why, the details of why that would be, I cannot tell you now, because when you talk about a 5,000-year calendar, you talk about 20, 30, 50 years, there's not really anything that you can identify from where I'm at, but it changed. Okay, Gulf of Mexico. After the 2005 oil spill, there were a lot of weird things that happened in the Gulf of Mexico that the public was not made aware of. It was hidden. They would find dolphins that were mutilated in ways that just simply didn't make any sense. Why would anybody bother to kill dolphins? They shouldn't do that. Those are my people. But to mutilate them like that, lots of weird things happened. And people it was hidden from the public. And I believe that you're going to be able to find that rather easily, that information. And I think that's why instinctively I knew that this was such an important event, that accident in the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so here we are, 2024, last year. And in some of the sketches that I did of the United States, the Gulf of Mexico, the map that I use, it kept coming up that there were pyramids that were coming up, Mayan pyramids that were coming up other dimensionally from the Gulf of Mexico to create stability. And coincidentally, that stability was going to extend to Florida, which is making Florida a really powerful place. Hard to take down Florida now because of that stability. So now 2025, and Trump would like to rename the Gulf of Mexico, which is really not an issue. But let me tell you what the issue is. I'm going to read to you what it is that the information the Dolphins gave me this afternoon. And it again reinforces the importance of frequency, vibration, and the law of attraction. I don't even know how to speak properly about frequencies. I need to learn, because it is, the Dolphins had told me years ago that the law of intention was the number one law on planet Earth, but that now, and this was several years ago, the law of attraction was going to be the most important law, which means whatever your frequency and your vibration is, that is what you're going to bring to you. So you need to take care of your frequency. because that, more than your intention, is going to determine your reality. So let me read to you what the Dolphins told me this afternoon, because I asked them about it because I just thought it was interesting that Trump would want to rename it, and the fact that there were, in the other dimensions, Mayan pyramids coming up offering stability to that area. So here's what they said. And I did this like at 6 o'clock this afternoon, which is January 7th, 2025. Okay. And I said to the Dolphins, Gulf of Mexico. And I do this on my computer. Um, the Gulf of Mexico, this is their response. The Gulf of Mexico is very important today as a buffer in the ending of the age of Pisces and the entering of the age of Aquarius. The Gulf of Mexico has portals to Orion and to Jupiter. Got it? Orion is known, supposedly in the future, we're going to be able to look back and it's going to be said that Orion is what took down planet Earth, having to do with wars and killings and all the rest of that. And Jupiter is supposed to be the planet of good luck and great things. Okay, so the Gulf of Mexico has portals to Orion and to Pyramid and to Jupiter, and the pyramids there are the doors to those two energies. Whatever surrounds and invades the Gulf of Mexico, the frequency and vibe of who controls the Gulf of Mexico will determine which energies enter the planet in that half of the world, which is this half of the world, where the United States is in Mexico. The Egyptian pyramids have that function in the other half of the world. Now, I wrote this afternoon directly from the Dolphins. I did not reread it, so there may be a couple of incomplete sentences or whatever, and we'll just deal with that because that's not what's important. The Egyptian pyramids have that function in the other half of the world. It does not matter what the name of the area is. What matters is the intentions and the frequencies of what happens in the Gulf. For that frequency to be aligned with Orion, the Gulf would need lots of warships and war plans, even if the excuse is self-defense. For the Gulf to have the frequency of Jupiter, which is the good luck, great stuff, that body of water would need to be full of activities that do not have to do with the energy of war and defense, but the energy of water, which is purification. The intention of the Gulf is to connect to off planet. Humans will determine what planets and energies will be connected to planet Earth with their activities. It's that simple. Interesting. So it doesn't matter what the name of the Gulf of Mexico is. What matters is that it not be militarized. It's not militarized now, but it was used for drilling oil in a way that was not respectful of the needs of the entire planet. And because of the need for oil, there was an accident that affected the history of planet Earth. I think we need to pay attention to that. And I think there's a battle going on now about drilling, but I'm not sure if it's in the Gulf of Mexico or near Alaska. It doesn't matter. Perhaps there needs to be a lot of paying attention to how deep they drill. And I'm not sure that anybody pays attention to that. It's just all about drilling rights. Can they drill? Can they not drill? But the reason the accident happened was because of how deep they went to get oil so that we can all have convenient gasoline-driven cars. So I'm not going to talk any more about that because then I might go into my own judgments, and that's really not what I'm here for. I'm here to give information. But the issue with the pyramids in the other dimensions and their Mayan pyramids coming up energetically now to stabilize the area and to connect us with off planet, that's not new. I've been talking about that for several years. And I have several times in the last several years, I have been worried and I have mentioned about the fact that there could be tragedies associated with the Gulf of Mexico. I don't remember when the issues were, but I think it might be important that in this new golden age that we appear to be entering in the United States under Trump's leadership, that we widen our lens and ensure that we are aware of the history of the planet, not simply the intentions of any particular nation or any particular group of people. Knowledge about the other dimensions, knowledge about the history of the planet. That is not the history that the archaeologists have given us, because Graham Hancock, I believe his name is, that did Ancient Apocalypse, has absolutely proven to all of us that our scientists in archaeology, it's not that they're not good, but they declared themselves to be the holders of truth. And they found a truth, and then they hung on to it, and they didn't let any other truths come out, which means no progress. We can't allow that. And we have to widen our lens in terms of other civilizations' belief systems, because a lot of those civilizations know a lot more than we do today. And a lot of it has to do with the other dimensions that modern people do not respect, do not understand. And if you stand up and try to talk about it, you get slapped down because you're obviously probably not a university graduate. I am, by the way. And you're superstitious and you're whatever it is, you're working with the devil. That's a good one. Working with the devil. Meanwhile, the devil comes from Orion. Anyway, so I wanted to give people that information today because it's something that's up for discussion, even though I'm sure that our discussion won't have anything to do with the decisions that are going to be made. But I have to say that if we reach 2025, we're entering the golden age, and we still are operating in the old system, Iron Age, whatever, that we are not going to make the best decisions having to do with living life aligned with the golden age on planet Earth. Let me show you how interesting it is. Today, or no, a couple of days ago, somebody on X brought up again the issue of the golden white dress. If there is one thing that I can give you that can prove to you that you prove to you that the other dimensions exist and that your frequency determines what's going to get attracted to you, what you're going to be able to see, it's that darn golden white dress. Let's review it again. Let me show it just for a second, and then let me review it again. It's so important. Here's the dress. This dress was a huge controversy. I think it was about 8 years ago, because some people saw it blue and black. The dress was constructed in gold and white, and yet a significant portion of people saw it as blue and black. There was so much arguing going on about the dress and why the blue and black, and all this modern science, the angle of the light, and then the camera capture. Give me a break. The whole planet saw it, and a lot of people across the planet saw it blue and black, and other people saw it white and gold. Don't throw that very limited science at us. And these explanations that take several paragraphs, which means they do not have the information under control, they don't have the bottom line. Don't do that. If you're science and you don't have an explanation that feels right, then just drop it and say, we don't know. Don't do that. That dress can tell you what your frequency is, not in terms of 689 versus 422. No. If you see that dress in gold and white, you are aligned with the golden age. You can see the gold. It was constructed that way. I didn't say that. And nobody said the dress was not gold and white. They're talking about how you see it. Got it? It wasn't two dresses, it was one dress. If you see the dress blue and black or blue and bronze, your frequency is low. Okay, so who says? You say it. You didn't see the gold. You said you don't see the gold. I didn't say it. Science didn't say it. The person who constructed the dress didn't say it. You said you couldn't see the gold, which means that the gold that's coming into the planet, you're not going to be able to see. So, how do you prove it to yourself? You take that dress, you print it up, and you put it someplace, and you look at it every day. And especially if you have a rage attack or something makes you really, really angry, you go deeply depressed, and you don't want to live anymore because this is so god awful, you go and you look at the dress. Chances are that you usually see it gold and white, sometimes brighter, sometimes less bright. And then when you have had a rage attack, or you're massively depressed, or you just life is just like god awful, and you look at the dress, you may see it blue and bronze. You printed it up. It's your sheet of paper. You saw it gold and white, and all of a sudden you're not seeing it gold and white. And it's not the lighting in the room, and it's not because of the curtains. It's not any of those silliness that scientists tried to explain in the camera lens. It's the same thing that's on the same wall. What changed? Your frequency changed. You are not vibing the frequency of gold. Now, I had that dress. I saw it gold and white. Great. Hey, well, I know all this stuff. I should see it gold and white, right? I had it on my desk. And then one day I passed by my desk and it was blue and brown. And I was like, wait a second. I know nobody came and changed that photograph. So what went on here? So I went and I reviewed, and I had a rage attack that day, which I was prone to in those years due to all my frustrations. And I went, oh my God, what am I going to do? I mean, how did I do that? How did I change that dress? And then the next day, I did a lot of mantras. I stayed outside on my hammock under the tree a lot. And the next day, I went back and I was able to see it gold and white. In other words, my frequency changed, my vibe changed, and I was aligning with the golden age. You know what's sad about this? Most of my followers, most of them are female, most of them have children, and they're telling me that almost all the kids, our kids today, our grandkids today, do not see it gold and white. They see it blue and bronze. Their frequencies are very low, but we know that 40% of them are mentally ill, according to the DSM-5, whatever, the psychologists who don't know anything about consciousness. But we know that we're in trouble in terms of our children and grandkids. So a simple way of understanding where you are at in terms of your vibration is to print up that dress and then start to show it to people, especially the younger kids. And then we all need to, me included, and I have made it today, I determined that's going to be front and center for me to understand the language that science uses, um, having to do with frequencies. Now, I can tell you this: the instrument of creation that human beings have are mind strings. They are in the Lord's Prayer. They're mentioned in the Lord's Prayer. Excuse me. That is a labradorite crystal. Labradorite is the most protective crystal on the planet. If you put water in it, you get it into your digestive system, solar plexus chakra, which is where personal power is held in human beings. But anyway, so I lost my train of thought. Being Cuban and talking too much has its benefits, but also its liabilities. We need to understand about frequencies because it is my opinion, and I believe that I am correct, that our children's frequencies and vibes are very low because of the frequencies that surround them, which we as adults pay for, which is Wi-Fi and 5G. Those are frequencies. Back, I remembered. Our mind has 72,000 mind streams. Buddhism has known about those 72,000 strings, even though they don't talk about it. They call them nadis, rivers of energy. And they have a frequency. Their frequency is 110, the frequency of electricity. They are electric. And I'm going to put up a graphic of them. For those who are seeing the podcast, I'm sorry that you won't be able to see this. Interesting that this, no, we don't want to do the Ukraine thing. Okay, here we go. We're going to have to use this one. See the gold body with the chakras, with the colors in the center. Extending from there are 72,000 mind streams. They have the frequency of 110. They are electric. When you have a large enough trauma, the electricity reverses. Your polarity reverses. What does that mean? I don't know, because I don't know enough about electricity. I have to now get into that, which is more science on the physical dimension, but I need to get into it to be able to explain it more. So anything that damages something that's 120 electricity, or that's run by 120, is damaging to the human consciousness and mind. And I ran around asking many people for a couple of years if they understood what microwave, which is a frequency, would do to electricity, the 110, not the 220. And everybody was like, "What? Why are you asking that question?" And I said, I need to know this. The microwave is what drives Wi-Fi. It's the frequency of Wi-Fi. So I met somebody who was an electrician and also an intelligence person. And I said, I want to know, what does microwave do to electricity? So he built these little things. He built a little thing with, I don't remember how the experiment went, but he built this box that was electrical. And then we had the phone, which radiates microwave. And then I had said to God, I need to be able to see electricity, not just talk about it. I need to see it. I need to see what happens to it. I must have put that petition in for like 5 years. And I finally got it. And I was able to do it in that experiment. So he turned on this little box that was 110 electricity. And there was a flow. And then we turned on the phone. I don't remember the exact structure of the movements. Microwave completely eradicated the 110. Microwave 2 seconds, which means that your mind strings, your mind, important enough to be in the original Lord's Prayer in Aramaic, gets completely devastated and killed by everything that's Wi-Fi, wireless. So I'm ending this here. There's a lot more that I need to research, but frequency, vibration, at this point on planet Earth is everything because of the law of attraction. The microwave is important because they're killing the mind. Use the photograph of the white and gold dress to figure out, or to very quickly see where everybody is at in the family. And it'll be interesting if you have a whole family there, each one of them can be saying how they see it. And then if there's a fight, or if there's somebody in the family that seems to be lagging behind in terms of their mood and whatever, they look at it, their frequency might be totally different in terms of how they see the gold and white dress. Cannot wait for authorities to get this figured out for you. There is no time, and your authorities have a vested interest in what they were taught at the university and in what the committees that run the ethics in their profession tell them they could do and they can't do. Don't wait for authorities. Don't wait for them. You get it figured out yourself, because you are going to want to be able to vibrate with the age, the golden age And nobody at this point is going to be able to help you do that, including your religions. I read something interesting today. I don't remember which of the dozens of people in science that talk about UFOs, and this was from years ago. And the man said, it's really dangerous for people to find out about UFOs and off planet energies. It's going to kill this planet. And the person that he was talking to said to him, why? This was on X today, but I don't remember who it was that was talking. And he said, because of religion. Your religions can't help you. Your religions cannot help you, but you can help yourself. And that's why we have this podcast, Francis Fox News from Other Dimensions. Take responsibility for your life. And by the way, it's a heck of a lot more fun than following authorities. And the age of hierarchy has ended. And we're in the age of revelations. So, revelations is revealing hierarchy and the bad stuff they're doing, whatever. And this is no fun. It wasn't fun when it was hierarchy and it was protected. And all of us that weren't at the top, which practically nobody was at the top, we weren't having that much fun supporting the guy at the top. And my best example is the Catholic Church has always had an issue with sexual abuse. They had houses of prostitution in the Middle Ages. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of books written about all of that stuff about the Catholic Church. And everybody kept sending their children to the Catholic Church, turning them over to the Catholic Church schools. And the Catholic Church schools priming, especially the girls, to be nice and obedient, and then marrying the important people in society. And then the Catholic Church had a hand in the hierarchy of society. But everybody kept doing it, even though everybody knew. That is the kind of dumb behavior that we all supported in the age of hierarchy. And now we have the age of revelations, and we have a collapse of the age of hierarchy. And we think it's collapsing because of revelations. No, it's collapsing because that structure of power is collapsing because it's time. We're now going into the age of community. We're going from triangular shaped power to circular shape. And then the revelations is helping us to go, oh my God, look at what they're doing. I love it with the Catholic Church. Oh my God, do you see what they're doing? They've been doing it forever. You just woke up? No, you fell out of the trance we've all been in that was part of the hierarchical structure that we all lived and worked under and honored and supported. And now with revelations, we go, oh my God, we're not going to support that anymore. But the only reason we're not adhering to that anymore is because that structure in the other dimensions has collapsed. So you need to become responsible for yourself and for your family because it's not working. The old system is not supported. It's not working. It's not appropriate now. You are the center of your power. And for some people, that's very difficult. Okay, well, they never said it was going to be easy. It was going to be a mess. But the more information we have, the better decisions we're going to make. So let's go ahead and let's do a mantra. And what should the mantra be? Give me a second. Let me check the country. God is with us. I have the map right here. I don't have to search, which would have meant I wouldn't find it because my desk is a desk of creativity, which means it's a mess. Okay, so this is the United States. Oh, and here we got the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, we do. Okay. These are the pyramids that have been coming up. It's so interesting. One of these pyramids, I have to tell you what I get. One of these pyramids is totally supportive of Ron DeSantis. What does that mean? I have no idea. Just because I got the information doesn't mean I know what it means. But there's one of these that is totally supportive of Ron DeSantis. And I think that he's getting downloads of an incredible amount of really information, really important information. And I think it keeps him up at night. I think he doesn't know what to do with it because all of us are really very lacking in multidimensional information, which is a big issue. We're into a we're into entered an age in which the veils between dimensions, revelations, is the veils coming up, the information, whatever, but we were never told that those other dimensions existed. So this is not so easy. So he's getting tons of information. I did not expect this. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Interesting. The center, Kansas, is spinning in the opposite direction. Remember, this is the heart center of the United States, and it had black magic, and that black magic got taken care of. But it's spinning. No, 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 no. This is good. Sorry. And it's red. Red is the color of the root chakra. That's the base chakra having to do with stability and money and protection. And it spins counterclockwise. It's spinning counterclockwise. This is good. This is good. Clockwise is this energy center. Ooh, this is good. Huh. Sometimes I think I'm very negative. I think my life has been very difficult, so I expect a lot of negativity. I expect things to be difficult because of my past. But this is good. Okay. Was I looking for something when I decided to do this map? Well, here we got the Gulf of Mexico. The pyramids are coming up. Ron DeSantis is being totally supportive. I don't get that. I have no particular opinion about him one way or another. Well, the United States is rooted and grounded. This is good. I'm looking for something. I'm looking to give you some problems. I'm not finding them. This is the map. This is good. Jupiter is shining on the United States. I'm looking. I am determined to find something else. But Jupiter is literally shining on the United States. Why? The words that want to come out of my mouth is because we're exercising our free will, which is the number one planet law, that God gave us free will. We can behave poorly. God granted us permission to do that, and it's okay. It's when you try to take away somebody else's free will, that's when you're breaking the law. And that's the whole issue with the black magic. This is good. I feel like I got left without a job. If there's nothing bad, I got left without a job. Isn't that crazy? Okay. We still have to come up with a mantra. Darn. I don't know what to say. I don't think we need a mantra. I think we're good. So we're going to end it here. Thank you for joining me. Please recommend our podcast, Francis Fox News from Other Dimensions. Even if you know that the people are not into metaphysics or spirituality, because everything that's not physical is basically spiritual. Even if it's black magic, it's still spiritual. And our religions have really not been able to help us out in that. And I don't know, we don't need to go into the why. The only people that I know that actually, to a certain extent, I don't know to what extent, attend to that is Buddhism, where all of their prayers include covering off-planet beings. And that mountain, Mount Kailash in Tibet, has a NASA installation at the top of it. And I was taken to Tibet, had to have been the CIA. It was the intelligence community. So at that point, I'm not sure that the CIA existed, if it was the precursor. So there's some interesting stuff here, but the point of the matter is that the only people that I know that actually cover the thing with off planet in terms of spirituality is Buddhism, and Buddhism is not a religion. It is a philosophy based on the mind and on creation. So I'm going to call it quits here because I'm talking and we don't really need to talk anymore today. Okay. Thank you. I'm Frances Fox, and thank you for joining me.